Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. This is Native Nomads. And today we are going to be discussing the skid plate that we have decided to go with for our 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness build. If you guys are new to the channel, then you probably did not see the video previously that I will put up here for you that shows when we broke our skid plate while we were on a trail. And I've gotten a lot of questions about the broken skid plate and how that happened. A lot of it was driver error, but the mechanism that failed was not because of what I was doing. Had I had a different skid plate on my vehicle, it would have cost me far less to repair the vehicle or cost me nothing at all, because the skid plate would have protected the bolt that got caught up on the rock when I was going through a rocky trail too fast, because I did not have my traction boards, and obviously there's no real positive winch ability on the Subaru Outback Wilderness. So we are set to leave on our first trip in the van in T-minus 24 hours. So I'm in power hour, and power hour is simply the 24-hour period before we leave. It is complete chaos. If I look like Grizzly Adams, it's because I haven't shaved in weeks. I have been working on the van nonstop almost every single day, and I finished up a couple of things yesterday, but that is besides the point. If you guys would like to see those videos, we would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel so you can come along for all the adventures and everything that we do here outside of vehicle builds and different trucks and cars and vans and all that stuff. So let's get into the skid plate that we went with, why we went with this company, and I'm going to give you some information that I wish I would have had when I bought my 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness and started modifying it the way that I have. Stay tuned. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is who the company is that I went with for the skid plates. Now, that company is Rallytech, and if you're in the Subaru community whatsoever, you have probably heard of Rallytech. Now, full disclosure, Rallytech is the sponsor of today's video. So thank you, Rallytech, for deciding to sponsor the channel and sponsor this video and provide me with some equipment to put on the Outback. I did pay for this stuff, but they did give me a discount, and I just want to be completely transparent with you. But that's the reason. I guess I want to say the reason I went with Rallytech is not because of the discount. I actually reached out to them, and there's a few very specific reasons why. And if you're looking for any type of modification components for your Subaru Outback, Crosstrek, whatever you may have, the link for Rallytech is in the description. Click on that link, go to their site, and just look at everything that they have. That is the reason why I chose to go with Rallytech. I reached out to them, they did not reach out to me, and I asked them if they would be interested in sponsoring this video and hopefully more videos in the future. They said yes, here is a discount that you can use, buy these skid plates, and we will see where that goes. So the reason I chose Rallytech was simply because their aftermarket support. They have tons of aftermarket components, not just for the Subaru Outback Wilderness, but for the Crosstrek and many, many other Subaru models. There's a lot of companies out there that kind of specialize in individual pieces where you have to buy your suspension from this company, and then you have to buy your rock rails from this company and your ditch light brackets from this company, and then all of those things. You kind of have to have this hodgepodge. And for anybody that's new to the Subaru Outback Wilderness community, or just Subaru in general, the aftermarket support for the brand, although it's good, it's nowhere near what I'm used to, because I come from the world of Jeeps. And my Jeep, I mean, you could literally modify every single component on your Jeep. There is a website that sells something that you can do to change something for your Jeep, and they have everything. And that was one thing that I struggled with when I bought the Subaru, is I could not find like that good company that really all-encompassing. I know Rallytech just came out with a new set of Wilderness lift springs. A lot of us in the Wilderness community use Ironman. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ironman. I'm happy with the lift. It's done its job, but I would like to try something different because Ironman is kind of like the go-to because it's reasonably inexpensive. It's not hard to install yourself if you want to do that. And it has proven itself to be capable of managing some pretty difficult terrain because tons of people have it. The only thing I would say about Ironman is it does have a kind of bad back-end customer service section, but I think it's just because they're so big. So when I was looking for a new skid plate to replace my LP Adventure skid plates, that obviously caused me significant damage, although there was some fault on my part, I reached out to Rallytech and we came up with this. So what I did is I purchased the front skid plate and the front underbody skid plate. So it comes in a pack, and if you go to their website, clicking the link in the description, you can see that what I purchased was not the full set of skids for the underbody. Now, if you're not familiar with Subarus or you're new to the Subaru world and you're trying to upfit your Outback or Outback WIlderness or whatever Subaru you have, I would definitely go the route of underbody protection because there is, first of all, there's nothing that comes on the vehicle that is substantial that's going to help you in the event of an impact from a rock. These vehicles are not hardcore off-road vehicles. I know a couple of people who do have Subarus and they are extremely capable, but even at their very, very best, they are not the most capable off-road vehicle. So you need to be able to protect them. You are going to take underbody hits on a regular basis if you decide to push this vehicle beyond what its intended limits may be. Now, the intended limits are completely, that is something that everybody has their own interpretation on. So for me, we took the vehicle pretty far, pretty off the beaten path. We've taken it a lot of places, and it's done its job, but it did its job with a lot of difficulty. What I say about the Outback WIlderness and the only experience that I have with it is that it takes those 4 to 5 out of 10 hardness trails and makes them really, really fun. If you're in a Jeep or some other big lifted vehicle and you're doing the trails that a Subaru is having a lot of fun on because they're more technical, you're just going to roll right through them and it's not going to be difficult whatsoever. There are instances where the Subaru is better than those other vehicles, but that's completely besides the point. So Rallytech has a whole host and a whole line of aftermarket support for your Subaru, and with the springs that they just came out with all of their underbody protection, it is an option for you if in fact you're looking to protect the underbody of your Subaru, which I absolutely would because they are not the greatest off-road when it comes to really rocky terrain and you are going to take a hit. For us, with the LP Adventure skid plates that we had, there were standoffs that were in between the skid plate, which was here, the standoff, the underbody, okay? So we had about 1.5 inches of a gap that hung down and it was just in the way, and it was actually a mistake on my behalf by getting those skid plates. I'm not saying anything bad about LP Adventure. I don't have anything bad to say. I just don't think their design is good, and it cost me a significant amount of money to have that replaced, plus I had to buy new skid plates because it did some significant damage to my vehicle because when I hit the rock that I hit, it bent the bolt, which bent the subframe, and it caused all types of damage that Subaru had to take apart, put back together, and fix. And that was silly on my behalf. So when you're looking for a skid plate in general, you want to make sure that your skid plates are as flush to the bottom of your vehicle as possible. I made that mistake. Hopefully you don't have to. If you already have LP Adventure on your vehicle, I would take a look at that, or at least be mindful that you may have issues in the future when you're on trails. And don't go as fast as I was going. Carry your traction boards, have your recovery gear, do the things you're supposed to do, and this stuff probably won't happen to you. But in the event that it does, you are setting yourself for a possible mishap on the trail. Now, the Rallytech skid plates that we purchased, they're all 1/8 inch laser cut aluminum. Now, most companies have 1/8 inch laser cut aluminum skid plates. It's really a matter of preference. I know I've gotten a lot of comments about Rally Tech not being a good product, and then I've got comments about other companies not being a good product. And when you boil it all down, you're really dealing with eighth inch laser cut aluminum that bolts to the underbody of your vehicle. And how close that hugs underneath your vehicle is really what makes the difference on if it's going to be a hazard later on down the line. I do have the rear diff skid plate from LP Adventure still installed in the vehicle, and it's a super solid skid. And the reason for that is because it's tucked really tight up under the differential, and there's probably 1/8 of an inch between the differential, the CVT, and the skid plate itself. So it's been solid. I've hit it, I jack the car up off of it when I'm changing the tires or I'm doing a tire rotation, whatever that may be, and that it's done great. And that's the only issue and where they kind of fell short on their front skid is how far it hangs down. So if this video is not necessarily about the install, I am going to get these installed, but I'm 24 hours, I'm in power hour. So I wanted to get this done so I could kind of let people know what's going on with the Subaru. And when we get back from our trip, we will do an install video showing you how easy it is to install these skid plates. All the bolts and instructions come with it. You literally take some bolts out, put some bolts in, your skid plates are done. Obviously, it's never that easy, but for the most part, it should be relatively simple. So if you're in the market for skid plates for your Outback Wilderness, Crosstrek, Forester, they sell pieces and parts and components for all of those vehicles, and I highly recommend you give them a quick checkout. Even if you don't purchase anything, I don't get paid if you click that link and buy something, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to help other people come along in this process. As I learn, I would like to teach you, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did, and hopefully you will have a better situation all around. So I got to get back to packing. I got a few things to finish up on the van before we take off on this trip, and then we'll be gone for 2 weeks, and then we come back for about 3 weeks, and then we'll be gone for a little over a month out west in California, getting out of the cold weather and enjoying some sunshine. So until next time, I'll see you.